been a lot of really exciting new developments to TickerTrends, so I thought I'd give you an update. First, starting with the TickerTrends platform, some of the new data sources and features that we've added, and just go a little bit more in depth into how you can use alternative data successfully to trade in different financial markets. This is not just limited to equities and stocks. You can also use alternative data for cryptocurrency trading, for trading commodities, for trading currencies, and even for trading pretty different irregular forms of assets. When you're using alternative data in financial markets, essentially what this means is you're tracking data that relates to some form of tradable asset, but you're not trying to look at what other financial analysts are looking at. You're trying to find new trends, new data sources, new ideas from data that other people are not looking at. Let me give you a really simple example. If I'm researching Apple, instead of looking at Apple financials, Apple earnings, Apple in the news, I would much prefer to look at different data sources of how people are using iPhones, if people are subscribing to iCloud. For whatever company it may be, there are different forms, different data sources that are more important than others, but it gives you a really good idea of how well their product is performing, which ultimately is one of the most important factors in determining if you want to invest in a company or not. At TickerTrends, this is really what we specialize in, and we offer a data terminal to do this, in addition to now our full-fledged hedge fund. So before I get into the actual platform talking about these new features, I do want to mention the Social Arbitrage Fund. The entire premise of our fund is using these different forms of alternative data to gain unique insights into financial markets. And ultimately, this has resulted in an extremely profitable track record so far with my personal portfolio, which we are now using to raise a full-fledged US-based Dallas, Texas hedge fund. So if you are interested in this, please feel free to reach out to us, admin@navtrading.co, or check our website, tickertrends.io/fund. But I'll get directly into the new features that we've launched on the TickerTrends data terminal if this is something that you're interested in. The first thing I want to mention is our new stock screener page. So if you're not familiar with the TickerTrends platform, I'll give you a quick rundown of what this is. Essentially, what we do on the TickerTrends platform is we provide you with a mapping of companies and terms. Like I mentioned earlier, what are some terms that are important to Apple? Well, Apple has all of these different hardware products like iPhone, iPad, MacBook Pro, but they also have different forms of services. These services can be apps, they can be software products. There are lots of different things that Apple does within its business. So on TickerTrends, when you first sign up, first of all, you'll get a mapping of a large quantity of cryptocurrencies and stocks and terms related to those cryptocurrencies and stocks, including things like websites and different hashtags across social media. Then you can use TickerTrends to sift through this data. So you can look at our Discover section where you can see these large data tables that summarize this data. And you can try to find opportunities. You can sort the data based on different filters and things that allow you to find what you're specifically looking for to achieve your own personal goals. Then you can go to the Analyze section. This is where you can actually visualize these trends, get more information on the trends once you've identified something that has caught your eye. And finally, just where my picture is blocking, there is a Manage section, which allows you to edit the data on the platform. And that data is what I was just mentioning, which is this idea of having different tickers and different terms. And this ticker term relation is really important because essentially the better quality data set you have, the more opportunities you can find in whatever market you're trying to analyze. So let me give you a quick example. If I want to add a new ticker, I will select a stock ticker. I'll type in a ticker here. And then once I've added that ticker to my account, I can then add different forms of data, such as if I want to add some value to the OLED stock, I can add Google Trends values, YouTube values, Reddit values, TikTok values, web traffic, Android and iOS values, and track all of that data for that company. So TickerTrends not only gives you these resources up front, but also allows you to go very, very in-depth in terms of customization and adding large quantities of these data to our platform, which we then track and scrape for you and collect all this data from the data sources that we provide. So the first feature I'd like to look at is our new stock screener feature, which for me is something that I think is one of the most valuable tools that we've launched in allowing users to discover opportunities based on their own criteria. What we've done here is we've taken the concept of a traditional stock screener and we've added columns for different forms of alternative data. So if I'm looking at Wendy's here, which is the top company, actually I believe this may not be Wendy's. If we're looking at ANF, then you will see here that we have different values that relate to the ANF ticker, such as the stock price, traditional finance information. But then we also have these columns on the right, such as Google Trends, news, image, YouTube, shopping, TikTok, Reddit, traffic, etc. You might see some zero values in here. That just means that I don't have any terms added for that company for that specific data type. So for example, if I have a 0 here on TikTok, that just means that I have no TikTok values added for that company on my account. But I can easily go in and add more if I so desire. So what this allows me to do is allows me to create different filters for these different data types and find companies that meet my specific criteria. So if I'm looking here and I want to see companies only with a trend value above 3, and essentially a trend value that's higher is better. What these values actually are just year over year values. So what is the current value of this Google Trends, of the Google Trends terms being tracked for this company divided by the value 1 year ago. So we think that this provides a pretty easy way to sort the data. So I'm going to filter the data by only companies that are above a 3 value in trends, meaning that their Google Trends values are over 3 times as much their Google Trends value from 1 year ago. So hopefully these will be companies that are performing quite well. And when I remove this filter, then I will see a list of a couple of companies. And of course, this is again only a list of companies from the list of companies that I'm tracking on my account, which I can customize, I can add more, I can change whatever it may be. But then I can see these values. You can see the trend values here. If I saw something that caught my eye, then I could go and do further research on that company to see if it's something that is interesting to me. Ultimately, what you can do here is, depending on the terms and the companies that you have added to your account, you can find something that really works for you in terms of trend filters, web traffic filters, TikTok filters, etc. Sort this data into something where you are able to find reliable opportunities. And once you've found something that catches your eye, then you can go to the Analyze section of the TickerTrends platform. The Analyze section, again, is where you can visualize the data. Once I've selected the OLED ticker, what I can do is I can go over to the different data types, which I can view charts for, and I can select something like trends. So these are Google Trends values that I have added to the OLED ticker. Then I can select different parameters for this to see how much data I want to view on different time frames. I can select and add different moving averages to that data to smooth it and to better visualize the data. And I can even do further things such as viewing the data on the Pro chart, but I will save that for a different time since it's a little bit more of a complex feature. I should mention that some things that we've added to this page since our earlier videos is we've added these new little icons here to be able to disable data more easily once you have them selected, so you don't have to search for the data types that you have active. We've also added this plus button next to the tickers to be able to instantly add tickers to your account rather than having to go to the edit data page. We also still have our quick scrape modal at the bottom here, where you can select a specific data type, type in some value, let's say example.com, and I can click quick add, which would then add example.com as a tracked website for the OLED ticker. So these are all things that are possible with our new updates on the platform. Something else which I'm really, really excited about is our new mobile data page. So this is a new data type that we have on the TickerTrends platform, which does come from SimilarWeb, which is one of our partners. We use SimilarWeb for web traffic data and now also mobile data. What you're able to do here with our current implementation, this is an early stage of this data. We are going to be continuously releasing new updates and improvements to analyze this mobile data. But let's say I want to track something like Duolingo or Costco. Let's see, Costco. Then I can enter a term here, such as Costco. So I'm going to be looking for Android apps for the Costco ticker that contain the term Costco. I can click search. When I click search here, it is going to look for different apps that contain Costco in the name and then display a couple of apps from that. I believe it's up to 5. And you can see the number of daily active users for those apps and the app rankings, again, if the data is available. So you can see here that for Costco Wholesale, which is Costco's primary app, we can see the rankings. But for something like Costco Taiwan, it just looks like there's not nearly as many users, which means that there's no app rankings for Costco Taiwan or Costco Wholesale Mexico. But for Costco Wholesale, we do have app ranking data. Something cool to mention on this page is for this term, you can use Costco, but you could also put something like Costco.com, or you could put the actual app ID for that specific app. So if you go to the Google Play Store and you find the app ID, you can then enter that value right here and it will show you the charts specifically for that app. If you put a website, such as if I'm looking at Apple and I put apple.com, when I click search, then it will show me the apps related to that website, which is a really cool feature so that it makes it much easier for you to look at apps without having to research which apps are related to that company. So here I have some of the data. Let's apply a moving average to this so that, once again, it's a little bit easier to visualize. Once I apply a moving average, once this calculation is complete, I will also increase the period so that we can see a little bit more data. Our data for App Store is currently about 24 months or 25 months worth of data. And so now we can see the trends a little bit more clearly. What I can do is I can disable some of these other apps that are being displayed. And now I can see the daily active users just for the Costco Wholesale app, which seems like a very good trend. And that's why I've chosen this company as an example. We can also see Costco Taiwan, which also seems to be doing pretty well in terms of daily active users. And we can see Costco Wholesale Mexico, which seems like likely that this is a relatively new app for them, which has allowed them to experience this massive growth for their app in Mexico. And you can see that just from comparing these three values. Costco Mexico does have a decent amount lower volume than Costco Wholesale, although it is still relatively high, especially compared to Costco Taiwan. Then if we look at app rankings, this is the ranking over time. And of course, a lower value is better for app ranking, as if you are lower ranking, then that actually means that more people are using the app. So we've inverted the y-axis here, and you can see that over time, the Costco Wholesale app ranking has also been increasing as well. And this actually follows the daily active users values quite accurately, which is something that's interesting. So this data source, this new mobile app data, is something that will be coming to the platform this week. We're really excited to launch it. And I wanted to showcase this as I believe that this data, in addition to all of the other data sources that we have on the TickerTrends platform, I really like this mobile data. I think that this is a super valuable addition to our clients and to future subscribers. So if you are interested in gaining access to the TickerTrends terminal or learning more about our social arbitrage hedge fund, please feel free to reach out to us, admin@navtrading.co, or checking out our website, TickerTrends.io, where you can view information about the Social Arbitrage Fund and our software product. We've also changed our website so that we now have a contact form if you are interested, where you can select the different products, such as the data terminal and the Social Arbitrage Fund, and send us a message so that we can schedule a meeting on how we can work together so that you can achieve your desired goals.